In this preview of the Miniart 1/35th scale British Stuart Mark I Honey early production interior kit, I'll share my first impressions and compare it to a previous build I completed, the Miniart M3 Stuart initial production, kit number 305401. If you're interested, you can find the full build playlist for that kit on my channel. At first glance, the main differences between the two kits are in a few specific sprues labeled J, JC, and HC in this kit that provide parts unique to the Honey variant. These parts appear to focus on details that distinguish the Honey tank, including features specific to its service configuration. Additionally, this kit includes updated markings for the Honey's various historical operators, offering some nice variety for display options. The photo etch parts also differ, providing more refined or variant-specific details that suit the Honey's distinct design. Beyond these updates, most of the sprues seem identical to those in the earlier kit, carrying forward Miniart's excellent attention to detail and precision. If you've built the M3 Stuart before, you'll find a lot of familiarity here, but with enough unique aspects to make this build feel fresh and rewarding. The Stuart light tank, affectionately nicknamed the Honey by British forces, represents a significant chapter in the evolution of light armored vehicles during World War II. Its roots trace back to the United States interwar experiments in tank design, culminating in the M3 Stuart, a design that balanced mobility, armor, and firepower. In the late 1930s, the U.S. Army recognized the need for modern armored vehicles. Light tanks were seen as essential for reconnaissance and infantry support, with an emphasis on speed and reliability. The M3 Stuart was developed as an improvement over its predecessor, the M2 light tank. Lessons learned from observing European conflicts were incorporated into the design, including better armor and a 37mm M6 gun, which was sufficient at the time against early war adversaries. The tank was powered by the reliable Continental R975 radial gasoline engine, giving it a top speed of approximately 36 miles per hour, which is 58 kilometers per hour on the road. Its suspension system, based on the vertical volte spring system, provided stability and durability over rough terrain. These features made it well suited for the fast desert warfare that characterized much of its use. The M3 first saw service with the U.S. Army, but it was the British who gave it the endearing nickname Honey. This was reportedly because of its smooth ride and dependable performance compared to other Allied tanks. The Stuart entered British service under the Lend-Lease program in 1941 and became a staple of armored units in North Africa. In the desert campaigns of North Africa, where the Honey first saw widespread combat, it proved highly maneuverable and reliable in harsh conditions. British crews appreciated its mechanical reliability, even if its armament and armor were outclassed by German Panzer III and IV tanks. Its strengths lay in speed, reconnaissance capability, and the ability to outmaneuver heavier opponents. Tactically, it was often used in flanking maneuvers and as part of the fast-moving jock columns that harassed Axis forces. As the war progressed, the Stuart underwent several modifications to address battlefield challenges. Early models like the M3 featured riveted armor, which was later replaced with welded construction in the M3A1 variant to improve protection and simplify production. The M3A3 introduced a redesigned hull and turret, offering better crew ergonomics and visibility. While the Stuart's 37mm gun became less effective against upgraded enemy tanks, its role shifted from frontline combat to reconnaissance and support. In this capacity, it continued to excel, particularly in the Pacific operations, where Japanese armor was less formidable. The Stuart Honey holds a significant place in World War II history. It exemplifies the adaptability and resourcefulness of Allied forces in leveraging available technology to meet evolving challenges. Beyond its combat service, the Stuart paved the way for subsequent light tank designs and influenced post-war armored vehicle development. Today, the Stuart is celebrated not just as a machine of war, but as a symbol of the cooperation and ingenuity that defined the Allied effort. For modelers like yourselves, recreating the Stuart is a tribute to the tank crews who operated it in some of the most challenging environments of the war. In this segment, we'll delve into the historical context of the color profiles featured in the Miniart 1/35 scale British Stuart Mark I Honey early production interior kit. Each paint scheme reflects a specific unit and period during the North African campaign in World War II. The first one is the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, 4th Armoured Brigade, 7th Armoured Division, Operation Crusader, autumn 1941. During Operation Crusader in November 1941, the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, as part of the 4th Armoured Brigade within the 7th Armoured Division, played a pivotal role in the British 8th Army's offensive to relieve the besieged garrison at Tobruk. Equipped with M3 Stuart tanks, which were affectionately known as Honeys for their reliability, the regiment engaged in several key battles. Battle of Sidi Rezig. On November 19th, they faced a formidable German counterattack, resulting in significant losses. Despite these challenges, their efforts contributed to the eventual relief of Tobruk and a strategic Allied victory in North Africa. The second color profile that we have here. So the second painting guide that we get is for the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, 4th Armoured Brigade, 7th Armoured Division, Libya, November 1941. In November 1941, the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars were actively engaged in operations across Libya as part of the 4th Armoured Brigade. Their deployment of M3 Stuart tanks facilitated rapid movements and reconnaissance missions across the challenging desert terrain. Their actions during this period were crucial in disrupting Axis supply lines and gathering intelligence, contributing to the broader strategic objectives of the British 8th Army in North Africa. The next painting guide is of the 10th Armored Division, Alam al-Halfa, August 1942. In late August 1942, the 10th Armored Division was instrumental in the Battle of Alam al-Halfa, a defensive operation aimed at repelling Field Marshal Rommel's Afrika Korps. Positioned on the Alam al-Halfa Ridge, the division, equipped with General Grant tanks, effectively utilized the terrain to their advantage. Their steadfast defense halted the Axis advance towards the Suez Canal, making a turning point that set the stage for the subsequent Allied offensive at El Alamein. Painting guide number 4 is again one for the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, 4th Armoured Brigade, 7th Armoured Division, Libya, November 1941. And finally, we have a guard vehicle at Rommel's headquarters for the Afrika Korps winter 1942. Interestingly, some Stuart Mark I Honeys fell into German hands after being captured during engagements in North Africa. By the winter of 1942, the Afrika Korps had incorporated several of these tanks into their forces. Rommel's headquarters used captured Honeys as guard vehicles and for logistical tasks, leveraging their reliability and speed. In the meantime and in between time, that's another edition of Jet Scale Models. Y'all come back now, you hear?